that the food we're eating is just horrible. So I want to bring him in right now. Simon, thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate it.
It's good to be with you, Dave. Hi, from New Zealand.
From New Zealand. So give me a little background about yourself. I've been reading. I know a lot about you. You are the chef in New Zealand.
On a good day. Yeah, well, I had restaurants for years. I started cooking when I was 16. I owned my first restaurant when I was 22. The most restaurants I ever had was 9 restaurants. And then I got asked to be a judge on MasterChef New Zealand, which I did for 5 years. And then I did other programs, Chef on a Mission and all sorts of these things. But the big problem was that whilst I was in the restaurant, everybody would come up to me, Chef, can you taste this? Is it okay? What do I need to add? How can I fix this? So from the moment I walked into work, I'd just be grazing all day, lots of little things. And then I get home late at night, generally sort of, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. The first thing I do is go to my fridge door, open it, and go, what am I going to eat? So then I would eat just before I was going to bed. Yeah. And progressively over the years, I put on a lot of weight. My mum said to me, diabetes runs in our family. You've got to be careful. Then one day I went to get some insurance. I had to do some blood tests. I got a phone call. Hey, I'm sorry, we can't cover you for insurance because you better go and see your doctor. Uh-oh. Bad news, diabetes. So then I had a little girl 10 years ago. Well, I didn't have her. My partner had a little girl, and I went and saw a new doctor, a guy I went to school with. And he said, come just before lunch. And I thought, oh, great, we're going to go out for lunch. After our meeting, anyway, he read me the riot act. He said, you're this close to going on insulin. Do you want to walk down the aisle with your daughter? Because you're not going to die of diabetes, but you're probably at some stage going to get a foot cut off, possibly go blind, have to go to hospital and go on a dialysis machine. You're in deep trouble and you need to sort your life out. At which stage I was like, oh, I guess lunch is off. And, I was shell shocked. So I came home and I started Googling reverse diabetes. Maybe I've got to take this seriously because I just kept taking the tablets that the doctor gave me, thinking that's sorting it out. But I was massive. I was 66 pounds heavier than what I am now. Wow. And, it was a journey I then went on a mission. I went on a mission to learn about fats, to learn about superfoods, to learn about raw food, and apply science instead of going on a diet. Because we all know lots of people that have been on a diet. We've seen them lose some weight, but then generally we see them 6 months later and they put it all back on. And
that was me. That was me.
Right?
That was me. Yep.
But diets just don't work. They do not work. We need to apply science, which is what I did just over 9 years ago. And I've kept the weight off. I'm now a completely different person. I sleep better. I have more energy. I've got improved skin. And the whole byproduct of my health journey was weight loss. That was the byproduct. It was actually quite easy. And now I run a course helping people lose weight, and that is the most rewarding thing for me. In a restaurant, you put a smile on people's faces with the food, right? You put your heart on a plate and they dissect it and you want them to love it. Yeah. But when you have grown men come up to you, wrap their arms around you in tears going, you saved my life. Wow. That is the most powerful and rewarding thing. So that's kind of been my journey. I still have a little deli. I don't have any restaurants anymore because I'm focused on being a good dad. I'm focused on my health. And, I run this 4 Wheels of Health course, which, the rewards are just unbelievable as you change.
I see it on the screen. That's you right there. Okay. Yeah. That's a heavier you.
That's a lot heavier me. Yeah.
Wow. Is that a book that people can buy, right? They have that book's available?
That's an old one now. But yeah, I've got other cookbooks out. But I've actually got one here. This is a book called Summer. But you look at me on the back and you sort of compare.
Wow.
It's quite a little bit different. And here's the reason why this little girl here, why I'm so focused on it, because I need to be around for her. I'm her inspiration. I'm her mentor, and she's my life. So we get one body to live in. We can't trade it in. We can't go and get a new engine.
True.
We can't go and get a new tire for our body. So we've got to look after the one that we're given. And it took me a long time to work it out.
I put it up on the screen, the website here for anyone who's watching. 4 Wheels of Health, the number 4 wheelsofhealth.com. Go to that website. They can find everything there, right?
Yeah, that we've got live Facebook course, on a private page, which probably isn't great for people in the US, but we have a foundation course, which other people all around the world jump on and they can watch the videos. There's a credible nutritionist called Sean, who, having done the documentaries, been around the world meeting all these health experts. He was the guy that I went, this is the guy. And together we run this course. So people can do it all around the world.
Okay. So I'm the same. My doctor told me I'm pre-diabetic. I need to lose 30 pounds would be great. But it is so tempting in the United States. We have McDonald's, Burger King, and when you're shopping, and my doctor literally told me the food I've been choosing to eat is killing me. Now, some would say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. But literally it's true, right? Some of the food is killing us.
Yeah, it's this highly processed food, right? When we buy, I've got an avocado, we buy an avocado, it doesn't need a label. But by the time it's turned into a store purchase guacamole that's full of E numbers and preservatives, it now needs a label, right? So these processed foods, doesn't matter whether it's corn chips, if they're processed, they're full of unhealthy ingredients like, added sugars, sodium, and unhealthy fats. And these foods that they're processing that we all buy in the supermarket, they're low in essential nutrients, things like fibers and minerals, vitamins. And then they're full of preservatives, right? So they put preservatives into these food. It might be just a jar of sauce, for your pasta. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. They put these preservatives in to keep it looking like it was when it was brand new and to extend shelf life so that it lasts longer in the fridge or on the shelf in the supermarket. Yeah. And then, we get an expiry date on it. So we take it home. We know we've got to use it before that expiry date. So these preservatives, basically, they're killing bacteria. They stop bacteria growing. Now, when we take that home and we pull our jar of sauce out and put it on our pasta and we eat it, well, the preservatives, all these E numbers that's in that food don't go, oh, we'll stop working now. We're in Simon's tummy. They don't do that. They keep killing in us. Wow. Now, in us, we basically have this rainforest inside us. That's our gut bacteria, our microbiome. The average person's got about 1.5 kilos. Sorry, I'm not sure what that is in pounds. It's probably about 3 or 4 pounds of actual bacteria in us. And you know how they say, oh, you've got that gut feeling, gut feeling. That's our big brain. The new science is telling us that our gut bacteria are communicating to this brain from down in our gut via neurons. So if we kill the bacteria with these preservatives, then we have an unhealthy microbiome or unhealthy gut bacteria. And that just negatively affects on all aspects of our health, our sleep. You can get all sorts of things, immune function, liver disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, inflammatory bowel disorders, and be at an increased risk of cancer. So, it's like if we fly over the Gaza Strip with a jet fighter and we drop a bomb, it destroys where it hits. and it destroys the infrastructure. So you've got to think about these E numbers and these preservatives in food. That's what they're doing inside our gut.
Wow.
They're destroying the good gut bacteria that we need, that tell our brain that we've had enough to eat, tell our brain that it's time to go to sleep. All of these things, so important. It's that highly processed food. Now, before I finish, one last thing. 70% of the American food trolleys at supermarkets is highly processed food. 70%. In New Zealand, we're just a little bit behind, just 67%. Okay. So, we're in the same boat, you Americans and us Kiwis, right?
Wow. Someone watching just now, actually my wife who's watching, what is the worst ingredient we should be looking for on food labels? Is sugar, or I'm sure there's lots of different, half the time I can't even understand some of the words on a label. And that's probably a lot of the processing. But what do you look for the most when you're looking at a label? Obviously, if I can't even read or understand what that word is, that's probably some chemical in there. What would you suggest to people when they go to the grocery store to look at a label? What should they be looking out for?
The ideal thing is that we actually buy food that doesn't need a label, and we go home and we cook it. We take our avocado home and we chop up an onion, a little bit of garlic and some lime juice and some cilantro, and we mash it all up, and we have something healthy, rather than you look on the label and you see E numbers, and then they'll have sugar in there, right? Now, sugar they'll disguise as hundreds of names for sugar: high fructose corn syrup, maltose, fruit juice extract. There are so many ways they disguise, because they know as a manufacturer that sugar's addictive and we'll want more because it's yummy, right? And once you cut sugar out of your diet, or limit it and only have fresh sugar, like, real sugar, natural sugars from a strawberry or a blueberry or a banana.
Yeah.
Once we start cutting that out, I remember when I first did that, and then I cooked a carrot, I couldn't believe how sweet it was. I just couldn't believe how sweet it was, because my body was so used to the sugar. Because like us all, if 60 or 70% of our food trolley is highly processed and refined, we're just doing it to ourselves every day, right? And it's going to alter the makeup of our gut bacteria, which is going to affect our entire health.
So the question I have, and I have your website, people can go here and look. I'll remind people once again, 4wheelsofhealth.com, the number 4, wheelsofhealth.com. You can get a lot of your answers here as well. Great resource for everybody. And I'll put a link in the comments when I put this out on the other platforms. How do you get to that point? Is it mental, or is it you realizing that you have a child, you want to be there when she gets older and when she gets married? Is it really just mental? Because being able to stop that, because it's an addiction. Like I said, I tried stopping Coke and Pepsi, and I would get withdrawal symptoms, and it's so tempting to grab that donut or grab that bread. How do you do it? Is it more so of a psychological thing?
We're conditioned now to being overweight or obese because there are more obese adults in the world than there were 20 years ago, right? So we're used to seeing people. We're used to looking in the mirror. Well, I just look like the guy next door. If you go back and look at TV footage of 20 years ago and look at people on the beach, there weren't very many obese people, but now they're everywhere. So we're kind of just used to it. And it's not until you get a shock. And generally what happens is people get sick. They wind up in hospital, and that's the shock. But they're now at the bottom of the cliff. They're now in trouble. And it's, how do we get a mindset change where we're at the top of the cliff? We're at the ambulance before we go to the hospital, and make that shift. I was very lucky. I had a doctor who just basically read me the riot act. And most doctors are scared of you, right?
Yeah.
You're going there, you've got 10 to 15 minutes with them. They know in the first 20 seconds what's wrong with you. And now they're just doing polite chit chat with you. Yeah. And they don't have the guts to turn around and go, Simon, you're overweight and you're killing yourself. They just don't. And what we have to do is we have to look in the mirror, talk to our loved ones, and go, what are we as a family going to do about this? We might have kids that are healthy and doing sport, busy racing around. You've got to get the whole family to buy in. We're going to have a change of shift in our house.
Okay.
For all of us. You're going to be better at sport. I'm going to live longer as a mum or a dad.
What is the first step? Is that what it is? If, for example, I have a wife, 2 children, the first step towards a health journey, is it to get everyone on board and to realize, okay, this is a mission for all of us. Things have to change.
Yeah. Well, monkey see monkey, right? So, the kids are going to watch what you do when they grow up, and they're going to be a reflection of you. And it's talking to everybody in the family. It's time for a change, because when we're 70 or 80, we want to be able to walk around and not be on a Zimmer frame or need crutches or in a wheelchair. We want to be around for you kids. And if we get healthier as a family, you're going to be better at your sport at school and all the things that you do. We're all going to get more energy and we're going to have more fun. Instead of watching TV every night, why don't we turn the damn thing off and have a game of cards and interact as a family and, really as a family change our health. The first thing I say on the 4 wheels of health to everybody is you need to put your environment on 4 wheels of health. So if you've got a whole bunch of that processed food in the fridge, go and give it to somebody else that isn't invested in looking after the body they live in, and put your environment. So when you feel like that bowl of ice cream or the bag of cookies late at night, you don't have it, but you've got some fresh fruit, you've got some vegetables, you've got hummus, or, we give people lots of ideas on the course, but you've got to put your environment on 4 wheels health, because willpower is important, right? We all give in at some stage. We all cave. We're all human. That chocolate's in there. But maybe now, instead of it being a milk chocolate, it's a dark chocolate. And by the way, dark chocolate a little bit every day is good for you because it's got prebiotics in it, the flavonoids that will convert to prebiotics in your body. So, you have the dark chocolate that you go and cheat with instead of the milk chocolate.
Is it good to start? Because some people have said, if you're going to do something, slowly eliminate everything, or would you suggest just boom, do it all, just all at once, try to massively get rid of all the processed food, or ease into it? Does it matter?
It's all or nothing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I say to everybody on the 4 wheels of health, we need you to do 80% of what we say as a minimum, and you'll get outstanding results.
Okay.
So we can cheat 20%, but cheating needs to be a reward. We actually did something good rather than we're just having another bowl of ice cream tonight or another cake or whatever it is. It's a reward and a treat, because, what we don't say to people is, hey, you have to have a life of twigs and berries and eat raw food. And, there's no life on that. I'm a chef, man. I want to eat, right? We all want to eat well.
Yeah.
But what we want to do is start understanding what are good fats, what are bad fats. Are we better to use fruit to make something sweet? And, what can we do to improve our life, because going on a diet, I see you got the website up there, that food looks good, right?
Yeah.
And of course, by the way, we don't say you have to eat that. We educate people, how much fiber is in a slice of white bread.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you there's 1 gram of fiber, but what your gut bacteria live on, the beautiful restaurant for your gut bacteria is fiber. That's what they want to eat. And the processed foods don't have much fiber, if any at all. So we've got to start getting fiber into our body, and we improve our gut health. Our skin will improve. We'll sleep better. We need to be having 8 hours sleep a night, right? Because what we need is willpower during the day, right? True. So let's think about sleep. So whilst we sleep, it's like taking your car to a garage and getting it checked, new tires, some new water in the windscreen, new oil, and the car is retuned. So whilst we're sleeping, if we sleep well, all the people go to work on our body and do the repairs. And whilst we're sleeping, it's like we've gone to the petrol station and we're pumping gasoline into a little gas tank up in our head here, in our frontal cortex. And if we get 8 hours sleep, by the time we wake in the morning, that gas tank is full. And that is called energy. That's going to get you through the day. So if we have poor sleep, wake up in the night, look at our phone and go, oh, I've only got 3 hours left to sleep. Oh. The minute you go back to sleep, the gasoline stops going in. You get up in the morning and then you only have half a tank of gas. And, at the end of the day, some days you get to the end of the day, you don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to cook dinner because you're tired. You've run out. The gas tank's run out. So I'll get takeaways. I'll go to McDonald's, or I'll just throw the jarred pasta sauce with some pasta. That's easy. But if we fill the gas tank, we've got more energy. So it's that's what I call willpower, right? Because it's like coins. Instead of gasoline going, and imagine it's lots of pennies. Now, and it takes 100 pennies to fill our gas tank. And as we have temptations during the day, we need to engage our willpower. So we need to take one of those pennies out and spend it to stop us doing what we might do, which we know is bad behavior, going to McDonald's or, having something bad. Yeah. So the more pennies we've got to spend, the more willpower we've got. So the first thing we do on Four Wheels of Health is educate people how to sleep. Nobody teaches us how to sleep at school. Why is sleep so important? How can we sleep better? What's REM sleep? What are all the different stages of sleep? And sleep is massively important, let me tell you.
It is. So I think my eyes were woken up during COVID, because the United States, one of the most obese countries, and I was at the TV station and no one really wanted to talk about it, but a lot of the death rate, the obesity, I think that went hand in hand a lot as well. There was a lot of obesity along with it. But it's really sad, though, that, the corporations are there to make money. McDonald's honestly doesn't care about our health. They really don't. In the government, in the United States, the food pyramid that they have is, so it really comes down to a personal thing. You can't let the government get you healthy. That's not going to happen in the United States. It needs to be personal. You need to take it on as your own mission, or listen to your doctor, or the doctors. Like my doctor is like yours. Mine just says, hey, you need to do this. You're pre-diabetic. You have children. You don't want to die at a young age. Question.
But how do you do it, right? How do you do it? Every doctor says, hey, you need to lose a bit of weight. But how do you do that? There's no magic pill. There is not a magic pill yet. There is no solution that is easy. That's why I started the Four Wheels of Health, so we can help people, because they need to understand when they're choosing food in the supermarket, which is the good one to choose, which is not such the good one to choose, right? Yeah. How to read a label.
Do you feel you're down 60, 70 pounds, you said. How do you feel? Are you more energetic? Is your mental health better after your mission of going through this?
Every facet of my life changed. I now want to hop out of bed in the morning. I'm excited to get out of bed. I've got energy. And, my skin's improved. I've got, I've lost a lot of weight, and everybody, the first time somebody said, wow, you're looking good. Nobody had ever said that to me in my life. Do you know how good it makes you feel? Yeah. Sometimes people just lie to you and say, oh, you're looking great. But if you're overweight, you're overweight. We all can look in the mirror and see that, right? Yeah. So it is mentally, when people start telling you look good, it is fantastic. And even sometimes, people go, are you okay? They don't want to say, have you got cancer or something? Yeah. Because you're so different from most of the obese people in the world, because it's rare to see these slim people now.
True.
I'm still carrying a little too much weight, right? Because I was pretty big to start off with, right? But I spent years getting myself there. And, 9 years since I sort of woke up to the fact that I've got this one body to live in. Perhaps I better start looking after it before, it crashes on me.
Someone just wrote in the comments to me, no more fast food. I have eliminated fast food so far this year at McDonald's and so forth, but that's also saving money as well, because that adds up. The cost of buying those things, it adds up. So you're also saving money by not hamburger here.
let me tell you, being healthy is not cheap either.
Well, that's true.
That is the unfortunate thing, is that, we should be, as much as possible, can we get organic food? Can we get local? Can we get, sustainable food? Have we got a farmer's market close to us, where,
Yes.
they've got good growing practices. And you guys in the States are in it. You've got farmers markets everywhere. They're amazing. You have incredible food in America. You have lots of fast food outlets, just like every other country in the world. And, you can still go and have one every now and again. But every now and again, once we actually achieve where we're at, right? So, when we start the 4 Wheels Health, we said, we want you to choose a goal weight. And we want you to take a photo of yourself. You don't have to share it, but because you're going to need that in the bank. Because in 3 months' time, 1 month's time, you're going to start to look different. You want to look back so you can go, how proud am I of myself? Your kids are going to be proud of you. And your grandparents are going to be proud of you.
Yeah.
Do we want to make our family and friends proud of what we do? So, really focusing on that. And then when we achieve our goal, that's when we term it. Now you're on maintenance weight. Now we can start bringing some of these things back in occasionally as treats. Do you know what I mean? Not reverting back to, everyday processed food. Like occasionally we have some, because a little bit is not going to kill us. A lot is slowly going to definitely kill us.
True. And you were saying diets. I remember going on the keto diet years ago. I lost weight. I stopped doing it. I gained it all back and then some.
Yeah, the keto diet is great. But you want to do something that's sustainable.
A lifestyle.
Weight loss is not good. We want to slowly lose weight. So it's sustainable, so we can keep going on the journey rather than starving ourselves. The biggest hack for losing weight is if we remove the processed foods out of our life and limit carbs and sugar. We only really need carbs and sugar for when we're doing lots of exercise. They're a bonus fuel. So if we limit the carbs and sugar and eat whole food diet, and that is not processed, and then we eat in an 8-hour window. So we're doing what we call time restricted feeding, or you're eating in this 8-hour window. So then you're fasting for 16 hours, right? And all going well, about 8 of those 16 hours you're sleeping. So that's good. That's an easy part. And then you've got another 8 where you're not eating, drinking water or black coffee, lots of water.
Is that exactly what you did? Is that what you're doing, or is that what you did?
Yeah. And then basically, if you imagine your fridge is full, once your fridge is full at home, then you got no more room, I'll put it in the freezer. So that's what our body does, is it takes all the food in that we eat all day, because we have breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe an afternoon snack or evening snack. And our fridge becomes full, so then we're putting it in our freezer in our body. But what we're doing is we're converting it into fat and storing it as fat. And that's the bit you can see on your bum or your tummy or your arms, right? So now you can visually see it. But if we eat in that 8-hour window, then we've got 16 hours to actually empty our fridge out inside us and then dive in and grab some of that fat, convert it back to gasoline, and burn it as energy to get through the day. So that's a genius hack. And it's easy to do. Everybody's like, how am I going to eat an 8-hour window? What time do I start in the day? We just go, when's your last meal going to be at night? And then minus 8 hours on. Don't eat anything before that time. And then eat in that window, and you'll be amazed at how much that will help. Really, really incredible. And stay hydrated, right? We should be trying to drink 8 cups of water before 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
We want to drink plenty of water.
I want to show you something, and this is on the screen from CNN in the United States. Cancer incidence rising among adults. New report says, leaving doctors searching for answers. Yeah. I think it's maybe obvious what we're talking about here. I mean, these
Well, the new science with our microbiome or our gut bacteria, it's our big brain, and that is poor microbiome or gut bacteria is causing lots of cancers.
Okay.
And it's the food that we're eating that is disrupting our healthy microbiome and making it unhealthy, giving us cancer and lots of other associated awful things that go with it.
Wow. Okay, so and this is something I think I don't know. I don't think they teach in the schools. You would be perfect to have a class, or you to come up with a class in the schools. I don't know about New Zealand, but the United States, they do not teach how to eat properly in the schools. And some of the school lunches provide it. They're not very good. So this needs to probably be part of the educational system, at least here in the United States and across the world.
Sure. I mean, kids' palates are really determined at a very young age. And the more things when your child is born and starts to eat food other than milk, the more flavors you can get them, the more receptive they will be as they grow older to try different things. Because you get some people going, oh, I only eat this, I don't eat that, I won't try that. It's because of what happened at a younger age. And it's, monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Right. So you can have all the education in the school, but if they come home and mum and dad have just turned up with a big bag of Kentucky Fried Chicken or Taco Bell or all those good things, right?
You know it. Yeah.
They think that's okay. So that's our responsibility as parents, is to educate. Knowledge is power. And that's why we've actually got to invest in it, in our future, in our bodies, to learn about it, right? Because they don't teach us about it at school.
Someone just has a question. Is plant-based foods still processed? Plant-based foods.
Well, some like vegan foods can have some nasties in there. Vegan food, in my opinion, is not the way forward. And a lot of people, and plant-based food, but a plant-based diet is fantastic. But there is so much evidence now with of eating meat, especially when it's grass-fed instead of grain-fed, is really good for us. And there's the carnivore diet now, and there's a lot of evidence. Back a few years back, not long ago, they said in New Zealand, and it would have come out of America because most of our information probably does, no more than 350 grams of meat protein a week. Well, they've now, that's no longer the case. The new science is saying, hey, it's not bad for us.
I'll let you go in a minute because I know you're busy. What is the best snack for kids? This parent on my chat right now says, we took away chips and gummy bears, but they do not like a lot of fruit. Yeah,
that's a hard one, because if they've had the gummy bears and those chips, right, then it is going to be a slow process. By the time they're 7, they're pretty much they're done. So you've just got to persevere and work with them to find out the things that they like. And the chips need to be a treat. The gummy bears need to be a treat. And then experimenting with different fruits and perhaps combining them with different things. Might be a coconut yogurt that the kid likes, or whatever it is. Or making something out of the fruit, a nice dessert where it's just fruit in the dessert. It is an experiment, but just saying, hey, this is the answer for kids.
Yeah.
And it's different everywhere, right? In New Zealand, we have a thing called Marmite and Vegemite. You've probably heard of it, which, anyway, that you don't have it over there. Most Americans go, oh, how do you eat that?
Yeah. Wow. Well, I appreciate you being on, because I think this is a discussion that needs to be happening more in the United States, because, the president in this country talks about all the threats to society and threat to human beings. But this is a major one that you do not hear about a lot with political officials, at least in this country. And this is a major issue, but you don't hear about it. Our leaders aren't talking about it. It's not popular to talk about, I guess, but it needs to be.
Obesity is killing people way faster than COVID and all of these other things. is just out of control with our obesity levels. You know, you've just got more obese people, and also children. That's a sad thing, right? A lot of obese children now.
Wow. Okay, so let me put it up again before I let you go, because people are asking. 4wheelsofhealth.com, the number 4wheelsofhealth.com. And someone was also asking, on this website, do you have a cookbook?
We have some recipes on there, but when we do the course, we put, there are more recipes in there on our foundation course and all the courses that we run. I've got a YouTube channel where I put a lot of inspiration up there. And, you know, I'm not one of these guys who's just only cooking healthy food, right?
Yeah.
You know, there are some people that just go too over the board with it. We're just going to eat twigs and berries. It's like, come on, you know, like it's all, life is about balance.
Yeah, you do that. I've done that. I've gone to the extreme, and then I just snap, and I head to McDonald's right away.
Yeah. Oh, we all do that every now and again.
Let me bring up your, oh, I can't, I think I found your YouTube here. Let me make sure it's you, because I'm going to put a link out there, because I know there's could be some imitation pages. Is that you?
Yes, that is my YouTube channel. Yeah. And I'd
Okay.
love to have some guys on. It's not all health focused. It's just more about cooking videos and inspiring people. Might be, you know, how to cook a steak. Are we going to flip it once or are we going to flip it regularly? What's the difference? Or how to cook, you know, all sorts of things. How to stop a stainless steel pan sticking and crazy stuff like that.
Okay, I will put that link among them all. And once again, I will send you the video of all of this so you can do it what you wish with it. And we thank all of you. All of us thank you for being here. And I just thank you so much.
Well, it's a real privilege and exciting for me to be on with you, Dave. I tell you, I love America. It's one of my favorite places to visit. Really is.
If I make it to New Zealand, I would like to stop by and shake your hand.
Yeah, we'll go and have some food.
I like it. I like it. Okay, have a good weekend, sir.
See you guys. See you, everybody.